Namaste. This is Renee, and welcome to my podcast, Peace, Love, Abundance. Today I'd like to talk about limiting beliefs and my voice. Now, I'm not just talking about the words I speak or my message that I try and deliver, but my actual voice, the sound of my voice. I've obviously had it my whole life. I've had this voice. But it's been one of my biggest limiting beliefs. This voice I have, when I was younger, I got teased about it. Even as an adult, sometimes I get teased. When someone calls, it's kind of handy when a telemarketer calls, but often when somebody calls, they always ask to speak to my mom. At one time, I could even pull off when somebody knocked on the door. They would ask for my mom, and I would just tell them I was the babysitter, even though I was the mother of my son, who was standing there right next to me. So at times in my life, I admit I've used this voice to get out of a couple of maybe door-to-door sales or telemarketing. But for the most part, my voice at one time in my life really hindered me. I was a supervisor in a software company, and I even felt like sometimes I was overridden or not heard or not taken seriously because of this voice. So it became a barrier to me, an obstacle, or even a limiting belief that nobody wants to hear my voice. It's never going to be in a place of power. And it made me kind of like close up. Around family and friends, I've always been very talkative and out there and everything like that. But I never imagined I would be where I am today with this kind of voice. And, even a funny story back to being confused as a kid. When my son was in high school, I had to call the attendance line and say that he was ill and he wouldn't be into school that day. And left, the proper information, call me, I'm his mother, my name is Renee, blah, 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 blah. And then I got a phone call back from the school attendance line and the administrative staff, the secretary. And she told me, she's like, Renee, and I'm like, yeah. And she said, oh, I am such and such. We went to high school together. And I totally, at first, when you were calling to say that your son was going to be sick and not make it into school today, she's like, at first I thought for sure, oh, this is some kid who talked his girlfriend into calling in and pretending she's his mom and leaving this message saying he won't be in school today because he's sick. She's like, and then as I heard you speak and then you gave your name and your phone number and everything, she said, I realized I know who this is. This is my friend Renee from high school. So eventually the voice, and then she told me, she's like, the second you said your name was Renee and the voice clicked in my head, I knew it was you. I knew it had to be you. And so she had to call me and tell me that story. And it was just really cute. But one of those things in my life that this voice has always been there, that people know and hear. Once I started teaching yoga, I can't go to the grocery store without somebody. They see me and they don't think much about it. But the minute I speak, they say, oh, I knew you from somewhere. And the minute you started to speak, I knew you from somewhere. And it's from yoga, right? Do you teach yoga? And then I end up saying, yeah, I do. So what has always been my limiting belief or an obstacle, or what I perceived as an obstacle, has actually presented itself as a gift to me through being even a yoga instructor. But becoming a yoga instructor was one of the scariest things for me, honestly, to get in front of a group of people and speak. And then also it's very humbling to be able to guide a class. It might sound easy when a yoga instructor makes it sound easy, but it's actually very humbling to remember where you're at in the flow, what breath you're on, what's next, what's coming up, where you've already been, what muscle group you're working on. And it's a lot of multitasking, and it can be very humbling. But for me, the most scariest part was, do people really want to hear this voice in a place of relaxation? But it turns out that it truly is my calling and my Dharma, and people accept it. Some people even give me compliments on it, that when they're stressed, they just close their eyes and imagine hearing me give them some good vibes, sharing my message with them. And even myself coming to acceptance. It's just kind of crazy. Somehow we don't realize how often our limiting beliefs, or what we perceive as an obstacle, is actually maybe a gift. But my voice now that I feel like society accepts me and my voice, it's helped me relax a little more in the yoga studio, to where I actually find my voice, the words I speak. So not just anymore the sound of my voice, but even the words I speak or the messages I deliver. I even have gotten to a point in my life where it comes very easy for me in my classes to sometimes have the right words to say when I need to say it. And it really has become a blessing, and almost 10 years later, here I am still doing it. So it truly feels comfortable to me. It feels right to me. And I am so thankful for the feedback, because honestly, in my own mind, I would never imagine being where I am today with this voice. My confidence level increased, and I've started to blossom and share more. Even becoming a voice for health, yoga, Ayurveda, nutrition, herbs, prevention, and even this podcast. Do you know how much I've had to step out of my comfort zone in the last year? With having such a limiting belief, everything that I have done in this last year, to everything I've taken on to create my brand and move forward in my path, has been 100% stepping out of my comfort zone, because I've gotten really comfortable at teaching in a yoga studio. I love being with my students and with a group of people and delivering that 1-hour message or 75-minute message. But taking my experience further than that to YouTube, a YouTube channel, a podcast. I've also recorded several workshops, online pre-recorded workshops that people can purchase and listen to and watch on their own time to learn more about certain subjects, like the 8 limbs of yoga, yin yoga and the Chinese meridians, Ayurveda. There's a whole almost 4 hours on Ayurveda that you can download and purchase and listen to, and the chakra system. So I've really stepped out with, again, doing videos for YouTube, doing online pre-recorded workshops for people to learn from, and this podcast. All of that includes my voice. It also includes stepping out of my comfort zone, which became the yoga studio. However, if you remember a little bit ago, I told you that just becoming a yoga teacher was stepping out of my comfort zone too. So baby steps, as we start to work through our limiting beliefs and through these obstacles, we can really grow into ourselves and find our voices. And this is beyond what my voice sounds like, but when I say our voices, I mean who we are in life and making impact on others and standing up for what's right for ourselves. We all have a voice, we all have limiting beliefs, and we all have obstacles to overcome. And even at that, this podcast is only about a fraction of my life, to be honest. This is only about my teaching career and my branding, my online presence. This has nothing to do with politics and standing up for myself in whatever situation. We all need to have a voice and a say in our lives and in what we believe and everything like that. So this very much pertains to you and everybody else. Stepping out of our comfort zone really can be awkward and scary, but you know that whenever things get awkward and scary, it's stimulating. You're learning something new. Whether you're learning a lesson, a bad lesson, or a good lesson, whatever it is, do not stop learning. Do not muffle your voice or mute your voice. Get out there and speak for whatever it is that you need, want, desire, or however to protect yourself, and speak up. Anyways, I could go on for quite a while with that if you let me. YouTube was also another big one for me because not only my voice, but having the guts to share your face, your body, and even my graying hair in videos in a place, YouTube, let's face it, there are some really fit or skinny, naturally skinny girls, even young girls doing yoga videos. And so what's this 47-year-old doing making videos on YouTube? Well, the reality is that's a limiting belief to think that at my age and my body type and my graying hair that somebody out there doesn't want to see what I have to share or hear what I have to share. That's a limiting belief. And also to think that somebody who's seeking yoga, who wants a good stretch, a good workout, or even the meditation, that somebody who's seeking those values are gonna not want to do my videos because I have graying hair and the body of a 47-year-old. So those are my limiting beliefs. All I need to do is overcome my own limiting beliefs and trust that there's somebody out there that does want to hear my message or see my videos. And I've actually had some good feedback on all of that. And in the end, if you don't get feedback, you know what? You put it out there. It honestly doesn't hurt. It's not like I'm having sticks and stones thrown at me. It's the frickin' internet. And if somebody doesn't want to watch it, they can turn it off and move on to the next video. But by me thinking I couldn't do it because of my graying hair and my 47-year-old body and my high-pitched voice, by me thinking that's me. That's my own shit. That's my own limiting belief and obstacle that I overcame and did it. And now I have almost 20 videos on YouTube. I'm quite proud of it. I'm definitely not no YouTube sensation, who's taking on the world and getting sponsors or anything like that. But, in this day and age and knowing my own limiting beliefs, I'm pretty damn proud of what I've posted up there. Go check it out if you haven't. Anyways, I've had to get awkward and I've had to step out my comfort zone, but it's been working for me. I have a strong background in technology. I used to be a graphic designer and worked for a software company. So the technical part of it and even the content is easy for me. I have almost 10 years of knowledge of yoga and almost 15 years in esthetician and herbalism. So content and tech is not a challenge for me. It's putting myself out there that's the challenge. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. If I can be that nuts, so can you. So now I have a YouTube page, a website with pre-recorded offerings on it, and a new podcast. And I have broke through some big limiting beliefs and obstacles and literally setting myself free. It's actually tons of fun. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm happy to be here. So what is it that's holding you back? What are your biggest obstacles? 9 times out of 10, it's all in our heads. And mastering your mindset can be, again, awkward, difficult, challenging, scary. But that's what you have to do is you have to master your own mindset. And you have to get past the thought of what everybody else thinks. Because fuck them if they don't like what you're producing. They don't have to listen to it or see it. And you are not a kid anymore. You are not that person on the playground who's getting teased. And maybe most of those so-called friends or even family aren't even a part of your life now. Some people have even figured out how toxic their family and friends are, and they've had to remove themselves from those situations or keep it to a bare minimum because they are also what help implant those thoughts in your head that you're not good enough. But you know what? You are good enough. Take it from me. You are good enough. If I can do this, you can do this. You can break free from your limiting beliefs. things will get awkward and even scary. But if it doesn't, then you're not changing. It means you are not doing it. Because it should be scary and it should feel awkward to create change in your life and try something that you've been holding yourself back from. Because that's why you've been holding yourself back, right? Is the unknown, and you're scared to try it. So it should feel those feelings that you are premeditating. Yeah, hell yeah, you're gonna feel them. So just feel them and do it and get it over with. And then to share the celebration in finding my voice, or even the thought of sending a thank you out there to everybody who's been supporting me and told me that they like my voice, I would like to offer up 100% off coupon to my listeners to download one of my online workshops. All you have to do is sign up for my monthly newsletter, my email newsletter that I send out. And to do this, you have to just go to my website. My website is reneestahl.online. So just so you know, it's not a .com. It's reneestahl.online. I will put it in the show notes, so make sure you check the show notes. The website address is always in there. On the cover page or the home page of my website, there is a button that you can click to sign up for my newsletter. And then when you receive the welcome letter back, the welcome letter will have the coupon code in it. Now, I'm only offering a limited amount because obviously a podcast can go out there to hundreds and hundreds of people. So I have limited this coupon, but it's my gift to you for being one of my first podcast followers. If you're listening to this right now, we're on episode 6, so I still consider these some of my first podcasts. But my online workshops, again, include Ayurveda, history of yoga and Ayurveda, yin yoga and the Chinese meridians, the 7 chakras, meditations, and much, much more. All of these, you can pick one of them for free, 100% discount. So sign up today, don't hesitate, and get your download. Get your email with the coupon code in it, and then download. Purchase it and download it. And to celebrate, Renee found her voice. Woohoo! Thank you. Anyways, thank you very, very much. I'm so enjoying doing this. And also, I really, truly do want you to sit down and think about, what are your limiting beliefs? What are your obstacles? And you probably have several. I have several. But when I really sat down and soul searched about it, definitely my voice was a big one. My voice as in the sound and in having the guts to speak out loud and deliver messages and teach yoga classes. But I have to say it's been a blessing in disguise, because finding my voice in both aspects has given back to me tenfold. I am so glad that I stepped around or kicked my limiting beliefs to the side, because I may not be here right now offering up this podcast and this amazing offer for you to experience one of my online modules if it wouldn't have been for even 10 years ago taking my first teacher training and then having the guts to step into a yoga studio. So that's something to celebrate, and please celebrate it with me. Today, though, I encourage you to do something that scares you and feels awkward and see what happens. Let go of what other people are going to think. Fuck them. I'm pretty sure they have their own skeletons in their closet, their own limiting beliefs, and their own obstacles to overcome. But you just need to do what you do or what you want to do. Just do it. Become the change you wish to see in yourself. And then maybe even it can become the change you wish to see in the world. Because your voice needs to be heard, your message delivered. And hell yeah, we got to stand up for ourselves. So I leave you today with peace, love, abundance, and namaste, bitches. If I'm going to use the F-bomb in my podcast, I better sure as hell finish with namaste, bitches. Don't you think? Your feedback and support is always welcome. Thank you for being here. Once again, namaste, bitches.